2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross SUV Review. Pros: strong reliability and quality expected. Four-wheel drive version must be capable. Refined 1.5-liter petrol engine. Excellent equipment levels. Cons: the styling definitely won't be to everyone's tastes. No diesel or plug-in hybrid at launch. Limited boot space compared to rivals. Mitsubishi is expanding its Awachi comprehensive SUV lineup together with the Eclipse Cross. The clue influences name. This really is more a crossover than full-blown off-roader. Being a Mitsubishi means four-wheel drive can be acquired as you'd expect. Size and price-wise, it sits relating to the ASX and Outlander, albeit slightly narrower compared to former, taking up popular crossover rivals such as Nissan Qashqai, Sitka, Peugeot 3008, Toyota CHR and Kia Sportage. It certainly looks the part, with a few distinctive design details such as a split rear screen, the kind of you'll see over a Honda Civic or Toyota Prius, and Mitsubishi's latest corporate grille, flanked with slim LED headlamp units and lashings of chrome. But it retains Mitsubishi's core values, variable four-wheel drive plus the promise that SUV will survive an exceptionally testing winter. Arresting styling with this SUV specialist. The Eclipse Cross is hallmarked with a stylish, angular look which includes it being bold from the crowd, although, front-on, it is especially similar to other offerings from Mitsubishi, by having an evolution of their current design language. The nose is rugged, geometric and largely faithful for the Mitsubishi family face, but it is entirely different from your middle of your vehicle backwards. The roofline drops sharply, then this pronounced body zips inside opposite direction. Round the back you get a tailgate that has a split glass house. The overall effect is incredibly striking, nevertheless it might not suit all buyers' tastes. What's beneath the bonnet? Unlike many offerings within this highly competitive market sector, the Eclipse Cross is obtainable with an electronically controlled four-wheel drive system with variable torque split. Basically, it sends another amount of power towards the rear wheels in comparison with the fronts depending driving conditions. The Eclipse Cross is powered by the new 1.5-liter direct-injection turbocharged petrol, available that has a choice of 6-speed manual front-wheel drive and new CVT transmission that simulates a normal 8-speed automatic setup provided with front or four-wheel drive. A new 2.2-liter diesel engine is under development by Mitsubishi, nevertheless it's unconfirmed if the Eclipse Cross will be provided with this engine inside the UK confirmed. It's also expected the Eclipse Cross will probably be available like a plug-in hybrid later, an all-brainer taking into consideration the success from the larger Outlander PHEV. What's it like inside? Jump into the driver's seat and there's a striking similarity together with the Lexus NX, no less than in terms in the dashboard design. It feels an airy car with comfortable seats plus a commanding driving position. There's a decent quantity of space with the family, with plenty of adjustment for the trunk seats, too. It's not quite as spacious as something such as a Hyundai Tucson or Sitka, nevertheless it's not far off. The raked roof and narrow windows do impinge a bit on rearward visibility, and might make some tall passengers claustrophobic, however the seat back might be reclined and seat base slid forward. The boot is wide but shallow, achievable sloping rear screen impeding on overall space if you are hoping to transport taller items. What's it love to drive? Mitsubishi makes some bold claims concerning the Eclipse Cross's driving dynamics because of its rigid structure, enabling it to present sharper handling, more direct steering and much more sophisticated suspension. In reality, it feels agile, the manual more enjoyable as opposed to CVT, and it is one from the better crossovers to push. However, the ride thinks quite fidgety on Britain's less-than perfect road surfaces, but it really's never uncomfortable. Any din coming from your 163 horsepower 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine can be quite well suppressed, although there's a noticeable number of wind noise on the road. That's due towards the car's large door mirrors, therefore you notice some whirring across the sunroof and roof bars. Is it safe? Like its contemporaries, the Eclipse Cross achieved an entire 5-star crash test rating from Euro NCAP after 2017. You get autonomous emergency braking (AEB), active cruise control which brakes and accelerates your vehicle in traffic, a stern reminder chime in case you veer from lane and 7 airbags. There's even an optional head-up display. The verdict: the number of options for potential crossover buyers keeps growing by the week. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross sticks out with eye-catching looks, a punchy turbocharged petrol engine, and also the option of 4-wheel drive. It's not cheap to acquire, nonetheless it does come packed, which has a lengthy listing of standard equipment, most of which is advanced safety kit. It's good to operate a vehicle, or else as comfortable like a Skoda Kodiaq or as sharp as being a Sitka. It sits somewhere within the middle ground, feeling agile and responsive, but never ever the best at college. Enthusiasts probably will find the drive a bit frustrating. But families searching for a spacious, civilized and iconoclastic compact SUV are in possession of a new contender to take into consideration, coming from a brand with true 4x4 pedigree. Just one engine offered by launch, choice of transmissions and 4-wheel drive. More engines may be available afterwards. To start out with, the Eclipse Cross is powered by way of a new 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine, available using a choice of 6-speed manual or CVT transmissions. Front-wheel drive is standard, but 4-wheel drive can be obtained on examples while using CVT. Turbocharged 1.5-liter petrol engine. The Eclipse Cross would be the first car within the Mitsubishi range to work with a new 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo, producing 163 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. In front-wheel drive, 6-speed manual guys, it'll complete the 062 mph sprint in 10.3 seconds. Be going on to reach 127 mph. Choose the CVT transmission and also the 062 mph time falls. For a front-wheel driven car it'll take 9.3 seconds, while a 4WD version takes 9.8 seconds. On the move, regardless of the faster on-paper figures in the CVT-equipped models, it's the manual that feels quicker. While power delivery can be quite smooth inside CVT in the straight line, greater flexibility offered with the manual means you should compete while using car exercising which simulated ratio it ought to be in. The CVT transmission has become tuned to feel being a regular 8-speed automatic in lieu of your typical CVT. In reality, it feels effective if you don't demand excessive from it. However, in case you come off a roundabout or drive around a faster bend, it's at risk from losing momentum and taking a bit time to exercise that it must provide a little more get up and go. This is the place the slick manual gearbox shows its strengths. The gear lever itself is well placed and contains a nice feel towards the action. We found it was simpler to make good progress minus the frustrations from the CVT transmission working which simulated gear it really should be in. Does 4-wheel drive change lives? You may have your Eclipse Cross in 3 forms, as being a front driver with 6-speed manual, front driver having a CVT, or 4-wheel drive CVT. In standard auto mode, torque is split 80 hours 20 minutes front to rear, though as much as 45% might be sent backwards. Individual wheels may be braked if slip is detected, in a very bid to help keep forward momentum. This also SOX Super all-wheel control system has two other programmed settings, snow and gravel, with all the latter sending as much as 60% of torque on the rear to get rid of tricky terrain. Most drivers inside the UK won't see the benefits on the four-wheel drive versions unless they regularly venture off-road or have challenging weather conditions inside winter months, but Mitsubishi's heritage in offering four-wheel drivability means some degree of reassurance could be expected. More engines potentially coming later. It's not confirmed to date if it's coming for the UK, but a brand new diesel engine is under development with the Eclipse Cross. It'll be decided further into your Eclipse Cross's life to whether it'll be offered within the UK lineup, after Mitsubishi has produced if there's sufficient appetite because of it alongside the petrol. Also expected down the road is a plug-in hybrid PHEV version with the Eclipse Cross. Due to being part in the Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi alliance, the electrification tech might not necessarily come in the Outlander PHEV. It may be tech borrowed from a few of Renault and Nissan's EV models. Tidy handling, however, not exciting. They are driving well-weighted steering, some body roll, but 4WD provides traction the way the Eclipse Cross handles puts it, using a par with all the majority of that rivals. If that sounds vague, that's because it's neither by far the most exciting crossover they are driving, nor will it be the worst performer. It's somewhere inside the middle ground. That means whilst it feels agile and eager to turn into corners, feeling less space-consuming than its bulky looks suggest, additionally, it has a tendency to produce a substantial amount of body roll. More so than something just like the Sitka and Toyota CHR. It doesn't feel from control or wallowy, though, and front grip is impressive, especially on examples fitted with four-wheel drive. The steering is well-weighted, if low in outright feel, nonetheless it's refreshing, which it doesn't feel overly light and vague, encouraging the motive force to put the time and effort in. It's a properly balanced setup. Overall, it's a secure and predictable car-driven automobile. Nevertheless, the suspension can feel just a little fidgety, more than a series of bumps and imperfections inside the road. Mitsubishi's best quality interior yet interesting design, but nevertheless some harder plastics, good driving position, as well as simple to get comfy. If you've been one driving of a Lexus NX, you'll be forgiven for thinking Mitsubishi has gotten more than a few cues through the prestige SUV. The center console is fairly high next to your driver, triggering a cocooning feel regardless of the higher ride height. The main part from the dashboard features an infotainment screen sprouting out in the dash, with logically laid-out heating controls within easy reach with the driver. It's a serious pleasant location to spend time. You think that you sit in the automobile rather than upon it, with especially comfortable and squishy front seats, as well as the materials officially used on top from the dash, along with the doors feel of excellent quality. Look elsewhere, though, as well as the variety of materials sets out to expand. Some silver accents appearance and feel a bit cheap, same as the fake carbon fiber pieces round the media screen and window switches. Overall though, it feels solidly built, plus the driver will discover it easy to obtain, comfortable. The new infotainment system seems as if it's been nabbed from Lexus, too, in spite of the two companies devoid of any style of relationship whatsoever. In fact, the Mitsubishi's touchpad controller around the center console is easier make use of than Lexus's, with simple swipe action required to navigate over the menus. Very comfortable front seats, suspension for the firm side, although not uncomfortable. Ride could be fidgety, but bumps are isolated well. The Eclipse Cross is usually a comfortable car by sitting in. The seats give a good number of support, plus they're wide and squishy without feeling flat. We don't think a protracted journey spent in them would provide any issues, although passenger seat doesn't offer height adjustment, feeling slightly too high up in comparison with the driver. In regards to suspension, the Eclipse Cross varies depending for the road surface. On smoother roads it's relaxed and cozy, but a broken surface can unsettle the vehicle. It doesn't feel crashy over bumps. Nevertheless, the wheelbase is very short, therefore it can feel somewhat flustered should you take it over the series of pockmarked surfaces. On the plus side, it doesn't send shudders with the cabin, plus the whole body doesn't flex. It feels rigid and shakes off any disturbance as well, but don't expect as smooth a ride as something as being a Skoda Kodiaq or Kia Sportage. 4 trim levels to choose from, all are generously equipped. Aim for that mid-range for the best value. The Eclipse Cross range is not hard to navigate, starting while using 2, moving around 3, 4 and first edition. Standard Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross SUV equipment. Mitsubishi doesn't present an entry-level Eclipse Cross one. Instead, it kicks off using the 2, with all the following equipment mixed in as standard: 16-inch alloy wheels, media system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, DAB radio, Bluetooth phone connectivity, cruise control, climate control, automatic lights and wipers with auto high beam, front collision mitigation, autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning. The Eclipse Cross 3 builds on this with 18-inch alloy wheels, head-up display, heated front seats, dual-zone climate control, keyless entry and ignition, front and rear parking sensors. Next would be the Eclipse Cross 4. With Rockford stereo upgrade, black leather interior upholstery with electric adjustment, panoramic sunroof, LED headlights, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, lane change assist. Automatic versions include adaptive cruise control on this particular spec, too. Sitting at the top on the range would be the first edition, restricted to 250 units. Premium red diamond paint, silver exterior styling details with red styling lines and carbon fiber trim. First edition interior mats. Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross SUV optional extras. You won't find an extensive number of options to supplement your Eclipse Cross. Instead, in the event you want more kit, you recently step up to your next model from the range. The most that can be done in relation to its satin extras will be through the accessories list, for things such as roof bars, mud flaps and almost any exterior body protection. 5-star crash safety rating from Euro NCAP. Long number of standard safety equipment. Advanced driver assistance kit standard. 2. The Eclipse Cross was tested by Euro NCAP in 2017, achieving the full 5-star rating. It came away from your tests that has a 97% adult occupant protection rating, that has a full complement of stars given due towards the standard fit driver assistance kit, including autonomous emergency braking. Extra reassurance is offered further up the number with blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning and rear cross traffic alert, which monitors for almost any oncoming traffic in case you're reversing out right into a road when visibility isn't good. Cars fitted while using CVT transmission also include adaptive cruise control. Decent volume of interior space, flexible boot and rear seat setup, not as large as some of that rivals, though the Eclipse Cross comes with a good volume of interior space for any family. However, that coupe-style roofline has its limitations, as does the cut-off look for the rear end in terms of overall boot capacity. Up front, the trucker gets lots of adjustment from the seat, with a good amount of headroom available. It's a rather different story with the passenger, though, because of a lack of height adjustment with the seat. You feel as if you're sitting superb up, and taller passengers may go through the pinch in relation to headroom. In the trunk, legroom is a useful one, plus the seats slip back and forth, together with recline. The transmission tunnel doesn't impinge an excessive amount on footroom, even so the sloping roofline does eat into headroom slightly. The split sunroof helps it feel airy, though, but, again, taller passengers can experience the squeeze. The Eclipse Cross could be an SUV, nonetheless it's not really a big one. It's actually narrower compared to the smaller overall ASX crossover, meaning it'll be better to slot into tight parking spaces. It's very easy to judge the size of the auto as well, with numerous glass area and good visibility. And with parking sensors and cameras available across much width the range, maneuvering your vehicle is an easy task to do at the same time. The only problems come after you look out with the back. The sloping roof, awkward tailgate with too many glass and thick rear pillar means judging the trunk corners of the vehicle can be just a little tricky. The rear wiper doesn't cover a large area, either. So if there's a great deal of dirt around the back of the vehicle, the vista out may be restricted further. Boot space within the Eclipse Cross varies depending for the position of the spine seats. As they slip forward and recline, there's a variable number of space being offered. With the seats way back to they can go, boot capacity stands at 341 liters. If you need the back legroom for passengers, the boot space isn't particularly impressive after you consider a Volkswagen Polo's boot offers 350 liters of space. If you don't need the trunk legroom, the trunk seats will slide forward and regain some more space, bringing it approximately 448 liters. Still, it is less compared to the Citgo's boot 510 liters as well as the Peugeot 3008 591 liters. And this really is before adjusting any of the back seats in a choice of these cars. By no means will be the Eclipse Cross probably the most practical family choice for those needing rear seat space as well as a big boot. Access is additionally restricted due to your size on the tailgate opening, along with the overall capacity is bound because in the tapered roofline. You won't get big, square products in as easily as you will in almost all of their rivals. The only other car suffering the Eclipse Cross's issue will be the equally rockish Toyota CHR.